I want to go over the side-by-side analysis, market and firm, competitive market, a firm in a competitive market case of a fall in variable costs. And cost events, as you recall, begin with the firm's costs changing. And remember that a competitive market firm's marginal cost curve above the shutdown price, let's pretend there's an average variable cost curve right there, is the firm's supply curve, and we aggregate up across the firms in the industry to get the market supply curve. We count up the quantity produced at any given price, and we sum horizontally then across firm marginal cost curves to get market supply curve. Okay, well, with that understanding, let's analyze the short-run effects in blue. Well, a fall in variable costs, let's just suppose it becomes, $1 cheaper at any given price to produce what we're producing. I suppose it'd be better if we thought of a good. Let me label. Let's say this is the cornstarch market, and this will be one firm in that market. And firm level, let's suppose I guess if you're an industrial manufacturer, you're going to be making it by the ton. Price will be dollars per ton. Dollars per ton. And in the market quantity, we want to remind ourselves that each firm is just a spit in the ocean, small firm, small part of the market. So let's go million tons per year. 1,000 tons per year works fine too, but I just really like to exaggerate the smallness of each firm because that's one of the assumptions. I'm going to be sure to draw this graph so that I get the size of the fall really well documented. If the costs of producing each unit fall by $1 a unit, whatever the units may be, then the average cost falls by $1 per unit. That's just even for me a pretty bad drawing. Let's redo that. Doesn't have to be super pretty, but it should be prettier than that. All right, so this is the short run effect on the firm. To analyze the case for the market, make sure to draw a fall in marginal cost, fall in industry supply curve that is the same size as the fall in each firm's marginal cost. And it's about 2.5 squares on this graph paper. Graph paper makes this a lot easier than without graph paper. And see, the key to this, the importance of getting the short run shift right, is that in the short run, our prediction is that market price falls, but not by enough, not by the full amount of the fall in costs. And what that means is that there's a new intersection between price and marginal cost, P1 and MC prime. Firm output goes up, and remember that price minus average total cost is our profit per unit. And so there's a positive profit per unit. We sum that up over all units produced. Just to be clear, this point on the average total cost right above Q1 tells us the average costs associated with producing Q1. Price minus average total cost is average profit at that level of output. We multiply through by quantity to get the area of this rectangle equal to total profit. So that's the short run case. And remember that when firms are making profit in the short run, and the underlying conditions that have changed are expected to be long lasting, firms elsewhere in the economy are going to say, hey, firms making cornstarch are making a bunch of money, and we want to make a bunch of money, we're going to get into the cornstarch business. Well, that leads to a long run entry. So in competitive sectors, remember, one of our key assumptions is there are no barriers to entry and exit. So profitable opportunities are going to draw new firms. By the way, this first shift in the supply was the variable cost fall. Better to over label than under label. In the long run, there's going to be entry, and because other firms are going to be attracted by that profit opportunity. How much entry? Well, we know that the new market price in the industry is going to be such that firms in that industry are making zero profit. That's our long run. Entry is going to continue until firms in that sector are doing just as well, but no better than they'd be doing in their next best opportunity. So because I drew the shift of the average total cost curve symmetrically down, the new long run equilibrium output level for firms is going to be the same as the old long run equilibrium output level for firms. Market, I see I didn't label the market quantity in the short run equilibrium. In the long run, market quantity goes up by still more because of that entry. So the cost fall leads to a decline in price that's not as big as the full cost reduction for firms. But in the long run, those short run profits attract entry, and with entry, the supply curve shifts to the right. How much entry will happen? Well, until all those profits are gone. The competitive process competes away any profits. Now, if there's some rent involved, that's another screencast. The rents can persist. The competitive process drives rents to accrue to whoever owns the fixed factor that's drawing the rents. And again, the point of this model is to show us how markets attract resources to sectors where consumers value the product at greater than its marginal cost, and drive resources away from sectors where consumers value the product at less than the cost to produce. So profits attract entry, losses lead to exit over the long run when all factors are variable.